Today is July 8th, 2025, and you're listening to Space News First Up.
Discover your next mission in the space industry with the Space News Job Exchange. Visit spacenews.com/jobs to find top aerospace roles and connect with leading employers. And for employers, use discount code JOBEX for 15% off your next purchase.
Here are today's top headlines in space. Several industry groups are asking Congress to restore funding for the Commerce Department's Space Traffic Coordination System. Maxar Intelligence says it has signed contracts worth nearly $205 million for government customers in the Middle East and Africa. Satellite manufacturer Muon Space has hired a new slate of executives. ESA has picked 5 companies as finalists for its European Launcher Challenge. And Chinese scientists want to launch a mission to Neptune as soon as 2033.
First Up is produced by Space News, the industry standard for professional space journalism. Visit spacenews.com for breaking news, policy updates, and original analysis.
We begin today with news that several industry groups are asking Congress to restore funding for the Commerce Department's Space Traffic Coordination System. 7 groups representing more than 450 companies signed letters sent Monday to leaders of House and Senate appropriations subcommittees, asking them to fund the Office of Space Commerce's Traffic Coordination System for Space, TRAXIS, at its 2025 level of $65 million. The White House's budget proposal for fiscal year 2026 would cancel TRAXIS. The industry groups say they're not sure why the administration wants to end TRAXIS, but are hopeful that Congress will step in and fund it. The Senate Appropriations Committee will mark up its Commerce, Justice, and Science spending bill on Thursday, while the House has postponed consideration of its version of that bill that was planned for this week because of overall changes in the House schedule. Maxar Intelligence says it has signed contracts worth nearly $205 million for government customers in the Middle East and Africa. The company announced Tuesday it closed 3 contracts valued at a combined $204.7 million with undisclosed government customers in those regions. Under the multi-year agreements, these governments will be part of Maxar's Direct Access program, a premium service that allows vetted customers to directly control and task the company's high-resolution Earth observation satellites from their own secure ground stations. The deals, among Maxar's largest outside the United States, reflect a rising global demand for space-based intelligence. Satellite manufacturer Muon Space has hired a new slate of executives. The new management team includes Paula Trimble, most recently Policy Chief and Director of Legislative Affairs at the Space Development Agency, as its new Vice President of Government Affairs and Strategy. The company also hired former Google and Raytheon executive Carl Nardell as Vice President of Mission Engineering and ex-Loft Orbital executive Gautier Brunet as Vice President of Product. Muon designs, builds, and operates LEO satellites, including its Halo platform for Earth observation, environmental monitoring, and national security missions. ESA has picked 5 companies as finalists for its European Launcher Challenge. ESA said Monday that it pre-selected ESAR Aerospace, Maya Space, Orbex, PLD Space, and Rocket Factory Augsburg for the competition, which will fund contracts for institutional satellite launches and work to upgrade launch vehicles. The funding is contingent on decisions ESA member states will make at a ministerial conference in November on funding for the program. ESA previously said it received 12 proposals for the competition and picked the 5 companies based on technical and financial factors. Chinese scientists want to launch a mission to Neptune as soon as 2033. The mission, detailed in a newly published concept study, envisions a 15-year interplanetary cruise followed by orbital insertion and a gravity assist from Triton, Neptune's largest moon, to adjust the spacecraft's orbit. The spacecraft would carry 11 instruments and use radioisotope thermoelectric generators, or RTGs, for power. If approved, it could be the first orbiter mission to the ice giant planets of Uranus and Neptune, given likely delays in a proposed NASA Uranus orbiter mission.
Share your company's news with the entire space industry through Stellar Dispatch, the press release service from Space News. Learn more and use discount code SD2106 for 15% off when you submit yours at spacenews.com/stellardispatch.
In other news, Spaceflight now reports that SpaceX launched more Starlink satellites overnight. A Falcon 9 lifted off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, at 4:21 a.m. Eastern and put 28 Starlink satellites into orbit. The launch was the first Falcon 9 mission in 6 days after the July 4th holiday. Globalstar has procured another Falcon 9 launch for a set of replacement satellites. The company said Monday it acquired the launch for the remainder of the 17 next-generation satellites being built by MDA and Rocket Lab. Globalstar had previously purchased a Falcon 9 for the first 8 satellites, expected to launch later this year. The new Falcon 9 launch is projected for 2026. Xinhua reports that a Chinese cargo spacecraft undocked from the Tiangong space station Tuesday. The Tianzhou 8 spacecraft undocked from the station at 3:09 a.m. Eastern and will destructively re-enter. The spacecraft had been at the station since mid-November. A new Tianzhou cargo spacecraft is expected to launch to the station later this year. The Guardian reports that a French astronaut going to the International Space Station will bring with her some very haute cuisine. Sophie Adenauer worked with French chef Anne-Sophie Pic, who has 10 Michelin stars, to develop food for Adenauer's 2026 ISS mission that meets NASA's rigorous requirements, but also is a change of pace from typical food choices. Among the items on the menu for Adenauer will be lobster bisque, foie gras, and onion soup, as well as desserts like chocolate cream with hazelnut cassette flour and coconut and smoked vanilla rice pudding. Cooking for space means pushing the boundaries of gastronomy, said Pic, who described the challenge of creating fine dining on the station, a thrilling challenge.